He's been my brother for the past 38 years, and he's innocent. The man is innocent.
Dash Deal is a friend of Temujin Kenzu's and says he was with Kenzu in Escanaba hours after Scott Macklum's murder in Port Huron. In 1987, a jury found Kenzu guilty of the murder of Scott Macklum in Port Huron. But Kenzu has always said he was in Rock and Escanaba the entire time. He was later sentenced to life in prison without parole. In 2010, federal judge Denise Page Hood overturned the guilty verdict, citing defense attorney misconduct. But paperwork was not submitted on time, so it reverted back to the original guilty verdict.
I'll go to my grave saying that he is innocent, and it's time to bring him home. It's time for him to come home to us, so it's been a long time.
Innocent because you saw him?
Yeah, I saw him. I know he was innocent.
Deal is just one of nearly 20 people who traveled 2 weeks ago to Macomb County for a meetup of people working to free Kenzu. Paula Kenzu, Temujin's wife, says it's encouraging to see so many people.
To have literally podcasters and media come from around the world, it really means a lot to him.
In 2022, Temujin's case was submitted to the Attorney General's Conviction Integrity Unit, which, according to its website, says it investigates claims of innocence to determine whether there is clear and convincing new evidence that the convicted defendant was not the person who committed the offense. The CIU denied Kenzu's case, saying there was no sufficient new evidence.
Temujin Kenzu is here at the Macomb Correctional Facility in Lenox, just north of Detroit. He's been here for 38 years and will continue to be here for the rest of his life without intervention. I requested an interview with Temujin and did get approved for 30 minutes, but I can't bring my camera, only a notebook and a pen.
Temujin tells me he believes his case was mishandled from the beginning, saying, "The stuff they did to me was evil." In his 1987 trial, Kenzu was not allowed to testify on the witness stand, his constitutional right, which is part of the Due Process Clause in the 14th Amendment. He tells me he took 147 pages of notes, ready to defend himself because nobody knows your story as well as you.
Scott Macklum was killed here in this parking lot in St. Clair County Community College in Port Huron. While nobody saw the murder happen, someone says they did see a vehicle driving away. A jury member who wants to remain anonymous told me they asked if the jury could be taken here to see if you could actually see someone driving away, but that request was denied.
The jury member says there were several questions from the jury, but they were told they didn't need to know that information. And this member says they believe the entire jury did the best they could with the information they had at the time.
I asked the jury member if they had to make a decision today with what they know now, would they still say Temujin is guilty? Their response? It's hard to say.
Today, people from around the world, including Europe and Australia, are sharing Temujin's story, and Delta Force PI in Gladstone is still working to get Temujin a new case. Kenzu needs just one more new piece of evidence for the state Supreme Court to hear his story. Kenzu tells me after nearly 40 years, he hasn't lost hope, saying, "After everything I've been through, I want people to know I've been blessed. It blows me away." As for his wife, Paula, she says it's time for her husband to come home.
It would mean the world. I want him home. He's mine and I can't have him. I want him back, you know.